our 20 years of high school wrestling coverage at the end of the tournament. We hope you'll stay tuned after the final wrestling is over and the awards are given. Just as we're leaving, we'll have that little bash. Okay. We're at AAA at 171 pounds. Greg Lechtenberg of Bettendorf. Number 1 against number 2 here. Lechtenberg's been ranked number 2 all year against Eric Josephson of Fort Dodge, who's been the top-ranked man. Here we go at a AAA level, 171 pounds. Again, they have black uniforms on. They'd help us out a lot if they just issued white uniforms and black uniforms, you know, but school colors will be worn, I'll tell you.
Well, Eric Josephson from Fort Dodge sure has a lot of plans for after high school. He wants to complete a rhythm and blues album after high school, besides play college football and wrestle. So I'd say he's keeping himself busy.
Now, the way if you want to really look down and see how to tell which one's apart somehow, it's not easy to do, but they are set up on the scoreboard, green and red, and there's an ankle band. The green ankle band here is worn by Eric Josephson of Fort Dodge. The red ankle bands are worn by Greg Lechtenberg of Bettendorf. Clarksville has 105 points in the single A division over Lisbon's 92. They've clinched the title. Gilbertville Don Bosco has solidified third with that win at 160 pounds. Tough match here between 71-pounders.
There you go. Relax. Put that on. Get it going.
Lechtenberg from Bettendorf. Longtime coach Frank Freeman's done such an outstanding job. They've had some state championship teams, several state champion individuals, and had a couple in the finals tonight. Had a very, very good year in the top. I think he's 4th place Bettendorf is right now.
Both wearing black. Again, Lechtenberg has the knee guards there, by the way, too. Josephson doesn't. No score.
In 2A, at 171 pounds at the end of the first period, it's 2-1 in favor of Tony Ersland from Humboldt over Ryan Furnal from Carlisle. And at 1A, with only 15 seconds left in the first period, the score is 2-0. 2-0.
Cute move there by Josephson to take the lead 2-0 here.
And which it is 2-0 in 1A with Chris Swalla from Stuart Menlo over Matt Strait from Logan Magnolia.
Eric Josephson of Fort Dodge just got the first takedown. He takes control of his man Lechtenberg with only 10 seconds to go in the first period. 2-0. Let's see that takedown.
Right here, he's able to control the head, pick up the knee, and drive through, and then come around for the 2 points.
After getting into that particular situation, Lechtenberg is lucky it wasn't worse. Or I should say not lucky, he's just fortunate. He was fortunate to be that he'd be as strong as he is. Lechtenberg. Very little time left in the first period, and Lechtenberg would like to be able to get out in what little time there is. Two to nothing in favor of Josephson. Now 4 seconds to go in the first period. That escape, or preventing the escape, either one, is so important at the end of a period. Frank Freeman.
Yeah, good choice.
Chris Swalla from Stuart Menlo is out to a 4-0 lead with only a minute, a few seconds left in the second period.
Is that right? Matt Strait is his opponent, who is...
That's right, number 1 ranked Matt Strait.
And won a lot of matches in a row.
Defending state champion.
Now in the second period, Josephson, who was leading 2-0, had the up position. position of control.
Coach Ed Birnbaum, yep.
In a long line of fine coaches at Fort Dodge, another school that has won state championships.
A couple of great traditions there, Fort Dodge and Bettendorf in the sport of wrestling.
No room, guys.
Josephson's been tough on top. He's protecting a 2-0 lead. Well, actually,
It's out. Let's go.
we can say he's protecting a 2-0 lead. He's supposed to be working at it to build it.
At the end of the second period, Furnal and Ersland in 2A are tied up 2-2. Furnal from Carlisle, Ersland from Humboldt.
We're in the last minute and a half now of the second period here. The man on top, Josephson of Fort Dodge, has a 2-0 lead. Lechtenberg hasn't been able to put together any ideas yet to come out from under. No such thing as riding time, of course, in high school. Interscholastic sport of wrestling.
Josephson doing a nice job of keeping Lechtenberg flat right now. Needs to work it, though, and look to
He's
the
not
fall.
coming out to the side.
Nope.
Now he is. Now he was in danger of being spurred there for inactivity if he'd stayed parallel. Now he's feeling confident at the bar on the arm. 2-0 lead here with about half a minute to go. The official is Dwight Spangler of DeWitt. He stops to have. See, Lechtenberg has a nosebleed, and even with the cotton in his nose, that some of it's getting on the mat. Tomorrow morning festival begins here on Iowa Public Television. It's a 2-week period when we ask you to show your support for public television by pledging dollars for membership in Friends of Iowa Public Television. The money is used for many types of programs, including our wrestling coverage. So if you want to see this type of programming continue, tune in during the next 2 weeks and enjoy the special programming, but most of all, by making a pledge to help make TV worth watching. Starting tomorrow.
Well, the score right now, Strait is behind right now, 6-2 in the 1A. Swalla from Stuart Menlo ahead of Strait, the defending champion from Logan Magnolia, 6-2 with a minute left in the match.
I'm going to take my turn on the festival coverage too, TJ. A couple of Sundays I'll be in there. So we'll all take our turn for the Friends of Iowa Public Television. Tonight, Eric Josephson leads 2-0 with 23 seconds to go in the second period. A long time being covered here.
You bet. And speaking of festival, since I can't make it, I guess I'll just have to write the check, right?
That's right. Okay. That's right. That's what I was trying to get you to say. 14 seconds, 2-1. Finally, Lechtenberg is able to score in the very last seconds of the second period. So this is a tough match. These are. That's Lechtenberg in on the leg. Now the body lock.
Body lock gets 2 points. It looks. Yes, he knew right where he was.
Right at the end of the period.
Really nice execution there.
So he takes the lead, 3-2. He had to stay under for quite a long time.
Controls the hips, drives through the hips, knows where he's at, keeps his knees and feet in. 2 points.
Got the trip, put the leg back there and got the trip and took Josephson out of bounds. It is 3-2 in favor of Josephson. Lechtenberg in favor of Lechtenberg with 2 minutes yet to wrestle the final period.
And it's overtime in 2A between Furnal and Ersland. 5-5 end of regulation, and they'll go into overtime. Carlisle and Humboldt going to wrestle 9 minutes. Only 30 seconds left. Matt Strait still behind. He's on top and riding, but he's not being able to turn Chris Swalla from Stuart Menlo.
And that would be a major upset because Strait is defending champion. looking at Lechtenberg on top here. Or rather, Eric Josephson in the top position. He's been very strong on top. But he's trailing 4-3.
And Swalla wins the championship over Matt Strait. Chris Swalla, state champion from Stuart Menlo. Josephson doing a nice job right there of knocking Lichtenberger down and not allowing him to execute.
Well, we have 1:22 left to go here in the third period at AAA, the big schools. Greg Lechtenberg is leading Eric Josephson 4-3 by 1 point. And again, there's time out to try to stop the nosebleed that Lechtenberg has been troubled with all through this match.
Here, coach, please.
He's been putting cotton, a block in his nose, but it's not really stopping anything. And every once in a while, it comes loose, and somebody has to come out and clean up the mat. So that's that's what this rest period is for. Greg Lechtenberg, he beat Troy Milbrand of Iowa City on a fall, John Yankee of Mason City on a 5-4 decision, and Shane Broderick of Dowling 4-1 to get to the finals.
That's still covered.
Eric Josephson had a tussle with Indianola's Bill Herkiman in his first round match, but won it 2-1. Then beat Daniels of Des Moines Hoover 6-4, and to get to the finals, he pinned 6th-ranked Ben Freestone of Cedar Falls in the semifinals.
Lichtenberg up to his feet, trying to get that hand control. He needs to get it on the way up instead of waiting to get it once he's up on his feet. Behind by 1 point, 4-3.
Josephson, the man on top, leads here. I've lost track of my score here. If I confused you a little bit, I apologize. Eric Josephson leads 4-3 now. Over Lechtenberg. I don't think either man has been warned. So there's no danger at the moment of somebody being given a point for stalling, for the other man stalling.
Lechtenberg continues to move, but Josephson doing a nice job of following.
Again. Nosebleed.
With 30 seconds left in the second period of overtime, the score is 9-7. 9-7 in favor of Tony Ersland from Humboldt over Ryan Furnal from Carlisle.
Well, we have a moment we want to remind you, too. We'd like to have your comments on the sports programming this winter, either our college wrestling meets or tonight's high school tournament. Anything you've seen in the sports. If you'd like to write us, our address is Iowa Public Television Sports, Iowa Public Television, Post Office Box 6450. That's important. 6450, Johnston, Iowa. The zip code was 50131. 50131. Let's give you that address again. Iowa Public Television Sports, care of Iowa Public Television, Box 6450, 6450. Johnston, Iowa, 50131, 50131. Now back to Lechtenberg and Josephson. The man on top is Josephson. He has 25 seconds to go. He's leading by 1 point, 4-3, and he just got warned for stalling.
And with 40 seconds left in the third period of overtime, it's now a 1 point match. It's 9-8. They're both on their feet. 9-8. Tony Ersland from Humboldt leading Ryan Furnal.
Now we're down to 19 seconds here. This match has had lots of stops and starts. Most of them because of Lechtenberg's nosebleed, but some of them going out of bounds too.
You got a lot of force behind both of them. They're very physical wrestlers, and when you get up and go, inevitably you end up out of bounds. Well, nice throw.
Is he out for the tie? I believe he is. It's 4-4 with 7 seconds to go. It's tied.
He executed really well, slipped his hips out right there, turned in, and he was really fortunate. In fact, Josephson was fortunate. 4-4.
It wasn't a reversal. That's right.
That's right.
So we have 7 seconds to go here.
Look at this right here. Gets to his feet. Now he turns in with real good hip action right here. Comes around and faces him for 1 point escape. Makes it a tie. Humboldt just won on the other mat.
Now here we go with 7 seconds to go. Time's up. We're going to have an overtime.
We've had a few of them.
Yes, we have. We started with one tonight at 103 pounds when we began with the 1A coverage. We're going to wrestle a new match. 1 minute each period. 1-1-1 between Lechtenberg and Josephson. They came 4-4 into an overtime. They get a 1 minute rest period in between. The clock ticks away the time while their coaches coach them, and they get a chance to settle themselves, and then they'll go back at it again. Lechtenberg of Bettendorf against Josephson of Fort Dodge. Ranked 1 and 2 all year. So they are the two that most people thought ought to be here. Well, Tony Ersland won his AA match while we're here in the overtime over Ersland-Furnal of Carlisle. It was 9-8.
All right, we got.
And we'll be hearing more about that from our Dick Trotter and Dean Borg in a little while. Lechtenberg again gets the nose plug. That's a fresh nose plug here. He had a minute to work on it.
Here we go.
But away we go.
Yeah, and the bleeding, you know, you don't have, not charged with the bleeding. But if you were injured, you'd have a maximum timeout of 2 minutes, which is cumulative throughout the match. But in the case of bleeding, well, like you've said before, Doug, you can't fake bleeding.
Don't go to the edge, both of you.
Now let's see who has the most left here. Lechtenberg and Josephson, and again Lechtenberg has to go have his nose attended.
You know, and he's not counted. The injury time is not counted against him for the bleeding. And I take that back. I think that there's something that's called wrestling out there. The WWF, they do a lot of faking the bleeding, I think. But in the real sport of wrestling, that's real blood.
2-on-1 tie-up by Josephson of Fort Dodge. See him working 2 arms on 1.
Let's go back, guys.
Evenly matched. Tough, sturdy, experienced. Good wrestlers at 171 pounds. In tight, almost in there was Lechtenberg in a body lock. He got a takedown earlier on that. "12 seconds to go. First period. This is the only match still going in the 171-pound tussles between 1A, 2A, and 3A. It's the 3A match. And these periodic delays result from the failure of the Lechtenberg nosebleed to want to stop. Have one of the paramedics here from the Corps that stands by at Matt's side, just permanently on duty at the Lechtenberg chair. She's been coming out with a sponge lately rather than a cotton ball.
Josephson does a nice job right here.
Oh,
just a little bit. It was late.
It was too late. A nice, sharp drive by Eric Josephson. Now we go to the second period. They get their choice. Josephson got the colors. He says he'll... What happened?
You have me first. Time has expired. Green chooses down.
All right, Josephson starts underneath. The score is 4-4. All those points were in the regulation match.
Let's go, guys.
The look of intensity here. He wants to get out and get out fast. You don't want to get ridden in overtime.
Well, the overtime criteria now, if we're looking at it, if anybody's penalized for unsportsmanlike conduct, no.
What's that? Let's
We had
go.
a number of points for near falls. We haven't had any. They're now down to takedowns.
Set. Cover.
And actually, Eric Josephson has 2 of those, and Lechtenberg has 1. So it's essential here for Lechtenberg, whose coach must know that Frank Freeman certainly knows what the criteria is by now.
With it.
When it comes right down to it, the best criteria is score more points than your opponent.
And if,
right now, it's real important for Lechtenberg to ride out for his sake and then to score some points when he's underneath.
22 seconds to go as they go out of bounds.
Come on, guys, let's go.
Easy for you to say, ref. They're thinking. It's Dwight Spangler from DeWitt.
Set, cover.
Slave driver, you know, gets them back in the center. They're in overtime. Lechtenberg's been very tough on top in this second period, as he has to be.
Yeah, he needs to stay in tight.
You're still down.
He's really done a job there, and he's going to put himself in a position to win here from underneath if he can ride out another 13 seconds.
Relax.
He'll be down in the third period. And
timeout again for the nosebleed.
Can't do a thing with it, so it's bleeding like crazy.
Let's go to Dick Trotter while we're waiting. Dick?
All right, Doug, thank you very much. We have the championship coach here of the West Des Moines Dowling team. After many years working with Bob Darrah, now he's pulled off the miracle. He's got 2 in a row. How does it feel?
It feels tremendous. Kids did a great job.
Ron Gray, you know, with only one champion, Mark Fox, interesting that you were able to pull it off and score so many points.
Yeah, we did it in the consolations. Again, we had 5 other place winners, and third, a couple fourths, and a fifth, and a sixth. So I was real happy with that.
Other than that, and the fact that now we have, what, 5 championships at West Des Moines Dowling since 74?
Since 1975.
75, yes. And next week, you'll also be participating in the dual meet competition.
Yes, we go Wednesday night down to Indianola at 7:30 for a chance to defend our dual meet title, and we've won 4 of them.
And I think you're looking pretty strong.
Well, we're going to try to make a run for it.
Ron, thanks so much, and best of luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Now back to you, Doug.
Thank you, Dick Trotter. We are at the end of the second period of the overtime between Greg Lechtenberg of Bettendorf, who just rode Eric Josephson out in that 1-minute period. Now, that's important.
It was important, and it was impressive, Doug, that he could do that in his 8th minute of wrestling and going right now. He's in a good position now if he can come up.
Josephson has to ride Lechtenberg out, and
if he does, he wins.
He wins. That's right. So it's Josephson. It's up to him. He has to hold Lechtenberg all the way here.
Warning red! Warning red!
Now there's a warning against Lechtenberg. A warning against Lechtenberg, who, well, actually, it's not to Lechtenberg's advantage to be not moving on the bottom, because he needs to be out.
Come on now, you got to be able to turn with that.
We're in the last half minute.
Got to be able to turn.
Got a lot of pressure on that shoulder, and the Dwight Spangler saying you have to be able to turn. You can't use it for pain.
Well, that's where Josephson wanted to be. There's no doubt about it. And I know we're going to have time out here to wipe up the mat again, too, because nosebleed.
A little caulking cement might help that nosebleed. What do you think?
Well, that's Roger Crimmon's idea. He's our floor director. And, yeah, he's the guy who likes dynamite for traffic jams, too. So I don't think they'll use it.
Punch him over here.
No, it's this situation. Lechtenberg has 18 seconds to get out. If he doesn't, he's going to lose because he doesn't have as many takedowns, and they'll go to a criteria to settle a tie. And they'll get down to the third criterion.
You've been warned. Let's go.
And that's the one that favors Josephson. He has 2 takedowns to 1 for Lechtenberg. Lechtenberg has a reversal instead of a takedown for the 2 points. Here comes Lechtenberg. Standing up. I'm surprised in a way that Josephson let him get up. Uh-oh. Whoa, uh-oh. A tough try. It's important. 5 seconds to go. If Lechtenberg gets out, he wins.
And if Josephson rides, he wins. I'll tell you what, I'm impressed with both wrestlers in the down position and the overtime. You don't see it happen that often. To have such impressive rides.
It's important on the whistle. You see that Lechtenberg went right down to the leg. Or rather, Josephson went right down to the ankle. Time is up.
Stay right here.
Time is out. Now they're going to have to go and settle it on criteria. And we've told you, unless we are really off base here, you go down to the third criteria before you find one that pertains. There have been no penalty points for sportsmanlike conduct. There have been no near falls. It's the person with the greater number of takedowns, and they are separated there because Josephson has takedowns.
Takedown. All right. Is this the first takedown? All right, go on.
One takedown piece, right?
Yeah, right now we're one takedown piece.
Reversal.
Well, they said one takedown apiece.
Reversal here. Let's be sure now.
Let's go one more time.
One more from the top.
Unfortunately, no.
No.
Number of near falls, no.
No.
Number of takedowns, same, 1-1, right?
One takedown, one takedown.
Now they're scoring it differently than we
have
did.
one reversal.
Yeah, that was green.
Green.
Fort Dodge green.
All right, green.
That was a reversal. It's still Josephson.
You want it on reversal? There you go.
There it is on criteria. I'm not sure he knew. Eric Josephson, a Fort Dodge, an overtime win. It was 4-4. They settled it on criteria.
Gilbertville, Don Bosco.
Eric
Sixth place,
Josephson.
Kyle McCoy, Mobile, Woodbury Central. Fifth place, Scott Fissler, Rockwell City.
State champion at 171 pounds in single A from Logan Magnolia. Came in here tonight, defending state champion, having won 65 straight matches. Chris Swalla, a senior from Stuart Menlo, wasn't intimidated. He led, that is, Swalla led 2-0 after the first period, 6-2 after the second period. Straight came on with a flurry with a reversal and a real flurry of activity in the final period, but lost it. And Swalla decisioned Straight 6-4. Swalla is champion. Dick?
All right, Dean, in the two-way competition at 171, it was 5-5 at the end of regulation, but there you see Tony Ersland of Humboldt, your state champion, 9-8 over Ryan Furnal of Carlisle. Back to you, Doc.
We still have the 189-pound and heavyweight matches to wrestle. We're at AAA for 189 between Eric Stroner of Webster City and Rusty Van Wetsinga of Pleasant Valley.
Stay in the middle, stay in the middle.
Jason Mulford, Audubon. Fifth place, Ted Hahn, Highland of Ainsworth, Riverside. Fourth place, Kirk Rathjen, Marengo, Iowa Valley. Third place, Mike Silver, Central City. Runner-up, Matt Straight, Logan Magnolia. And the 1A 171-pound champion from Stuart Menlo, Chris Swalla.
Congratulations to Chris Swalla. He won an upset over a defending champion. These are the awards at 171. We have the heavyweights yet to go and some awfully good ones.
Class 2A 171-pound awards. Coach Ron Wasoba of Humboldt. Sixth place, John Klinkenborg, Parkersburg. Fifth place, Ken Cecilski, Jessup. Fourth place, Richie Ludwig, Dyersville, Beckman. Third place, Charlie Wright, Manchester, West Delaware. Runner-up, Ryan Furnal, Carlisle. And the 2A 171-pound champion from Humboldt, Tony Ersland.
He had a real go. He had to go to overtime and win 9-8 for his championship for Humboldt.
Presenting the Class 3A 171-pound awards, Coach Ed Birnbaum of Fort Dodge. Sixth place, DeMarco Daniels, Des Moines Hoover. Fifth place, John Yankee, Mason City. Fourth place, Ben Freestone, Cedar Falls. Third place, Shane Broderick, West Des Moines Dowling. Runner-up, Greg Lechtenberg, Bettendorf. And the Class 3A 171-pound champion from Fort Dodge, Eric Josephson.
Let's go to Dean Lord for a report on the 180.